Welcome back to another Dimension. I'm Trask.
I'm Quinn.
I'm Taylor.
Hey, Taylor.
Hey,
How's it going?
excited to be here. Let's rock it. Trying to keep the trying to get the energy.
Yeah, too
up.
much
Perfect.
coffee.
Well, yeah.
No, too much of that.
Thanks for tuning in. We're back with, I think this is number 3 of 2025. Still holding us accountable, even though we had to reschedule. But it is what it is.
They don't know that.
They don't know that. They do now.
Yeah, way to go.
Yeah, my bad. I let out our secret. Today we're going to be covering our safety topic. We got a trivia question for you. We also have our word of the day, a couple random shout outs, I'm sure.
Yeah, and thanks to those guys for those people.
Watching, yeah.
Yeah. It felt kind of nice.
Yeah, it does. It feels good. Also have a pretty important topic I think we're going to cover. So where do you want to start?
Let's start out with the word of the day. What is it?
Draggin wagon.
Draggin wagon.
Do you know what it is? If you do, don't say it.
Okay.
Taylor?
I don't know.
What happens if I don't?
Then I know you do, so just answer the question.
You told me not to.
A load that's overweight.
It's a good guess.
That's my guess.
It's a tow truck pulling damaged vehicles. Yeah,
Makes sense.
Draggin wagon.
There
Good
you have
one.
it.
I don't know why they
Right.
call it a dragon.
Making everybody smarter by the second.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Or try.
So first, let's hit on a couple things. We hit our cold weather tips last week, and we kind of jinxed it. It's cold up here now.
It is cold.
It's been a week from
But it hasn't been fun.
no. Negative 20 wind chills up here in Wisconsin.
I think next week it's supposed to be worse.
It's supposed to be worse. It's going to get a little bit warmer here Thursday, Friday, and then it's supposed to calm down or cool down, I should say. Shout out to our drivers listening. We did, if you haven't got your ice and sand mixture that we put together for you for your truck, stop in, grab it. We did shoot out some winter weather tips and things like that. So if you have anything, leave them below, leave comments below, and we can go from there.
Yeah.
You want to cover the safety topic?
Yeah, safety topic of the week.
All right. Blind spot awareness.
Blind spot awareness.
What can you tell me about them?
About blind spots. Well, they're blind. So, what do you want? Some tips and tricks to be able to spot cars and vehicles?
everyone knows what a blind spot is, right?
Yeah.
I hope.
But
How many people do you see not check it when you're driving?
100%
Insane
in
amount
your cars,
of people.
in your personal vehicles,
I'm
passenger
just going to
vehicles.
move lanes and hopefully there's no one there.
But Taylor, where are they on a semi?
The blind spots?
Yeah, there's 4 major ones.
Is it right at the corner? It's right at the corner, off the corner, isn't it?
Corner what?
Like the back, on the back side of a van. Like there's a blind. Because you always see that sign on the truck, right?
If you can see this, I can't see you or
Yes.
whatever.
If you're too tight to the back.
Too
Yep.
tight to the back.
Right behind the trailer.
Yep.
Off to the sides of the cabs. Now, depending on where your mirrors are, depends on where that blind spot is, right?
Just like a normal car.
And then directly in front of it.
Oh, yeah. That's
Any
true.
other ones that I missed?
I mean,
There are.
there's lots of them. I mean,
Right.
if you're sitting in the driver's seat and you've got somebody at your front wheel on your passenger side, they're virtually invisible.
Yep.
But there are some things that
you-
you can do and some tools you can use to help prevent crashes. So one would be obviously check your mirrors, know your surroundings all the time.
Clean your mirrors in the winter.
Clean your mirrors.
Yeah.
Some trucks have fender-mounted mirrors or hood-mounted mirrors. I take
Right.
that back.
You're talking like the Mickey Mouse ones up front.
Yeah, they look like big ears.
Yep.
Yeah. They're good.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, we don't have them. A lot of trucks have a slanted hood, which does help with some of that visibility.
Not putting your seat all the way on the ground.
Yeah, not sitting on the floor helps. Getting up in the air so you can see over the dash and see out your windows.
Right.
I'll be honest, I have long legs. I sit kind of back. The pillar's right here.
Yep.
If I moved up a little bit and raised my seat, I would probably be able to see a lot better. But the biggest thing is being aware. Just keep checking and know where people are at. And there are going to be people that come out of nowhere. So if you change lanes or make a turn, double
Signal
and triple
early and
check.
often. You know, turn your blinker on well before you don't just turn it on and get into the lane.
Yep. And don't assume if you see somebody moving from the lane next to you, don't assume that they went. They
All the way.
may have
Correct.
encountered something and they may come back. Wait till they have cleared that lane until you make your change.
Right. A lot of the times too, like I notice this, especially driving at night. I don't know if they're the old school truckers or anything like that, but if you're not being a jerk to a semi, 95% of the times they'll let you know when you can get over.
Oh yeah, the flasher lights.
The flasher lights, yeah. Little things like that help. I mean, not only can you turn on your blinkers, can you use what the truck already has, but there are numerous amounts of new technologies coming out. Our trucks don't have everything, but as these trucks get newer and more progressive, they're going to have lane deviation. Now, that is an option on some semis. We've talked about that. They are going to have blind spot detections. I'll tell you, that's the nicest thing about driving my wife's minivan is if there's someone in your blind spot, that lights up on your mirror.
Yep.
I don't know how many crashes that saved, but I'm sure it's helpful.
And I'm sure there's manufacturers that have that.
Right, 100%. But I don't think you can rely on all of those things.
I feel like that you could get lazy.
Right.
Oh, the light's not on. Well, what happens if that light burned out? Or what happened if
Right.
whatever, the
Right.
sun was glaring on it? You know, you
still gotta look.
You still have to be an aware driver.
Right.
But it's a problem. It's a concern. And today's day and age, people, texting going down the road, especially in passenger cars, texting, talking on the phone, yelling at the kids. There's so many distractions.
Well, and that just gets into a whole nother topic we could cover. Distracted driving. I mean, music. I'm guilty.
You can thumb through YouTube shorts all day of distracted semi-drivers.
Really?
And they run off the road, they go off a bridge, like all kinds of stuff. You can look up compilations, and it's from looking out the window to being on a phone to grabbing something out of the bunk, and then 10 vehicles in front of them are.
I mean, it only takes a second, right? It's in a true accident, that kind of thing only takes a second.
There should be something in a vehicle, in my opinion, that jams your phone.
Not idea.
Not that you can't accept a phone call or make a 911 call or a distress call,
But nothing else.
just my opinion. I mean,
I don't think that's a bad idea.
I would have to think that somebody would try to pass a bill like that at some point.
The problem is the new vehicles encourage you to plug your phone in, and then
the
you have your
CarPlay.
screen
But
there.
that's way better than staring down at your phone.
100%. Yeah.
And I use that religiously. My truck, it hooks up to it automatically. I don't touch
Right.
my phone anymore. Hey
Right.
Siri, text whoever. Or, hey Siri, call whoever. It's so much nicer. You don't have to do it. But my new pickup has a thing called Teen Driver on it. And I haven't used it yet, but you can set parameters of how fast the car can go over the speed limit.
Interesting.
If the seatbelt's not on, after like a couple minutes, it will not let you go the speed. Like it'll make you go slower. I mean, there's ways around all those things, but
Interesting.
I
Didn't
think
know that.
Yeah, I think using the technology, and I'm not saying every piece of technology is great, and they all serve a function. But if you go into them with an open mind, they do help. They're not designed.
They're there for a reason.
They're not designed to make your life more miserable.
Right.
Are there inconveniences of some of them? Yeah, but those small inconveniences probably outweigh the negative
Consequences? I mean,
consequences.
Death.
Right.
I mean,
Oh, yeah, I have to wear my seatbelt now because otherwise my truck dings at me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, at least you have the opportunity to be able to put your seatbelt on tomorrow morning.
right. And I'm a big believer in it's my right to do what I want to do, right? If I know the consequences or the risks, but if I'm putting others at risk, that's not right.
I was just going to say, yeah, you're right. It is your right. If you want to text and drive going down the road, that's your prerogative, right?
It's still against the law, but
It is, but a wise man once told me, I don't care about your problems until you make them my problems, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if you're texting and going down the road, or if I'm texting and going down the road and then I get in an accident with your family and something happens, now it's not your right.
that's right. I agree.
So, I don't know, squirrel moment there, but take a moment here and say, if you're still listening, thank you. But also, for anyone new, if you could like and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. Share it. Let us know if you want us to cover anything, and we'll continue to keep doing these.
So what do you got for trivia?
I don't know.
We said we are going to bring it back this week.
Do you want to do trivia right now? Or do you want to do it right now?
I want to do it right now.
Okay. You know what a weigh station is?
A weigh station.
Right.
Yes.
For the listeners that don't,
Sure.
what is it?
It is typically a state-run inspection station that can weigh you or scale you to make sure you are abiding by the law, and then
Inspect you.
yeah, it's an inspection station with usually DOT certified officers, usually state, that will make sure your vehicle is safe to go down the road.
Or you're following the rules.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so now that we gave that tidbit of information, what state do you think has the most amount of weigh stations?
Weigh stations. That's the trivia question.
That is the trivia question.
So don't give an answer.
Don't give an answer.
Okay.
If you know the answer, leave it below, and we can go from
If
there.
you're right and we pick you, we'll send you something cool.
What are we going to send them?
We'll figure it out.
Some snow?
We'll send you some snow. Give
We'll
them some.
we'll
Give them some
announce it on
incentive.
announce it on the next podcast.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Winter hat or something.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Perfect.
Send that down to Sunday.
If there's
Florida.
multiple winners, we're going to randomly pick one.
Sounds fair.
Awesome. You want to hop right into the topic?
Let us get to it. Let me have it. I know I'm not.
You're on cloud 9 today.
No, I am.
You zened out.
I'm just tired.
Tired. Let's talk about the importance of building a freight network. What is a freight network? Why they're important? What does it entail? Tips, tricks,
Well,
those kind of things.
could get a little broad.
Could.
Maybe we start broad and narrow it in.
All right. Perfect. So
Freight network. Who you haul for? What
Right.
type of stuff you're hauling? Do you have a niche? Do you, are you a van carrier? Are you a flatbed carrier? Are you a refrigerated carrier? If you're a refrigerated carrier, are you hauling cold? Are you hauling frozen?
Yeah.
So that would be kind of the first
the freight
battle.
that
Yeah.
moves
What are you going to haul?
from coast to coast, from country to country, from port to port, whatever that may be.
And then identifying those customers
Right.
that would be a good fit for where you want to go. If I want to stay within a day from home, I'm going to look for a 300-mile
Radius.
network customer.
If you have a load that's going to Nashville, Tennessee, you're going to look around there to try to find something to get back home.
Yep.
So the importance of building those or having a freight network is it not only alleviates some stress on always on the search, but it should make things easier because the drivers know what to expect. If it's the same product, you kind of get to know each other. There's a level of trust being built amongst many other things. Things, knock on wood, should go on like autopilot where, hey, we have a guy down here every Tuesday. Oh, it doesn't work this way every time, but we have a load every Tuesday going back here.
Yep.
And if that location that it's going back to is a good spot for you, okay, why would we not do this?
And building that network is extreme. It's difficult, especially. This is my opinion again, but especially for a smaller company like us.
Right.
We have a great network of customers that we haul outbound out of our area for.
Right.
We haul inbound some of their raw materials.
Right.
But getting back home, I think, is an industry-wide issue depending on where you're located. A lot of our inbound raw materials for us are steel,
Right.
and a lot of the steel manufacturers set that up on their own,
Right.
whether through a broker or however they do that. So it's difficult, but that brings another point up of brokers.
Right.
Brokers, good, bad, ugly.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you look at them.
Absolutely.
You can look at them as a necessity to your business. You can look at them to a hindrance to the industry, or you can look at them as a necessary evil.
And there's some people who won't use brokers.
100%.
I look at it as another sales arm.
Right.
I mean, we can't.
A small company, not just us.
We have non-typical routes.
Right.
So we're spot market. We're growing everywhere. Now, if we had a dedicated load to Nashville every week, I might look at it a little bit differently. Like, hey, maybe we should go down there and sell and try to get a customer.
Right.
But we don't have that.
Right.
So we utilize brokers to get us back home a lot.
Yeah. And not only that, I mean, there's load boards, there's brokers. There's good brokers, there's bad brokers, there's mediocre brokers, there's brokers that start up every day, just like different trucking companies. And once you have a relationship with one, you can ask for other things. Like, hey, I also got a guy in Texas that's empty. Do you have anything coming back to the Midwest? But it also, if you build that relationship and don't treat everyone like crap, they may be like, hey, I know these guys like getting back to the Midwest or wherever you may be located, and I'm going to call them first. It doesn't even hit the board. So when times get tough, it might not be as tough for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like I said, I look at a broker as a sales arm for us. We have some consistent brokers that we haul for.
Yeah.
We have some great relationships with some of them.
Right.
Some of the other spotty brokers are difficult, but that's with any business.
Same with trucking, same with manufacturing, same with anything.
Yeah, and the large brokerage houses, some of them, it's hard to manage. And
I mean,
you got good, you got bad.
We had a broker in the last year that went out of business and loved our service so much. So before they went out of business, they set us up with their customer direct.
Yeah.
That was super cool.
Yeah.
But the good, the bad, the ugly of building a freight network is it takes time. It doesn't just happen overnight.
It's difficult.
It's extremely difficult. It takes resources. Those resources could be trucks, drivers, office people, whoever that may be. It takes constant, setup, insurance requirements, those kind of things, which you have. But you also are going to have to, at some point, probably start making some calls or meetings, leverage some technology, the load boards, whatever that may be, because it's not, you can't just go to the phone book anymore. Now, you can go to Google and type in freight brokers near here, but just because the freight broker's there doesn't mean they have freight there.
Right.
You know, that's the weird part.
Right.
Like, back in the day, the broker in Dallas, Texas probably had the Dallas, Texas freight because the world wasn't so connected. Nowadays, it's connected. That freight could be controlled from England. You know, like,
Could you imagine back in the, let's just pick 60s, 70s, and you're going to Dallas, Texas? How are you getting home?
driving?
Yeah, but if you need a load to get home, how are you getting home? It was a struggle. Go to the phone book. There were freight agents. There were trip leases at truck stops.
That's what I was just going to say. You'd almost have to assume that. I bet finding reloads wasn't as hard then. I should rephrase that. I would say I bet finding reloads
to a desired area
wasn't as saturated back then.
I mean, you could have gone to Dallas and there could have been 40 loads going to Denver.
Right. Yeah. Oh, crap. I'm going to Denver.
That's how it was.
Yeah. And then out of Denver, maybe it's going to Chicago. And then out of Chicago, you're coming back. There's the importance of communication. I mean, there was no way around it. Also, I think technology's probably helped that.
It's made it a lot easier and made it.
So,
if I'm new to the industry, you kept saying good, bad, and ugly.
Right.
How do I, You guys hire me to work in the operations here. How do I identify the ugly ones? What do I need to watch out for?
As far as like a broker?
Brokers. Yeah, so good, bad, and ugly.
Oh, boy.
What are some of those things that I should look out for?
Well,
New MCs.
yeah, how to screen them.
Yeah.
right?
That's what I mean.
They're-
Yeah,
they're
so
tailor-made.
there
Exactly
are
what I
tools
mean.
now to screen them because with anything, there's people that scam people. What's the town in California?
I don't know.
There was a town in California that like 500 double brokers popped up out of,
Just like that.
like over the course of a
It was
year.
probably 3 guys, but it
Yeah.
was 500 companies.
MCs.
Really?
They would buy like old MCs that went out of business and use them so they would look like they had been in business for a while and then like accept all this freight, have carriers haul the loads and then not pay the carriers and go out of business.
Was that?
We did it. I think we did an episode on it.
I remember. Okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna say I remember that instance happening.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what they would do is, if I'm the broker, Trask is a customer,
Right.
hey, I'll haul this stuff for $1,000,
Right.
and we'd agree, and then I'd contact you, Taylor, as the trucking company, and I would tell you I'd give you $3,000. I didn't care at that point because you were going to haul it. I'm not going to pay you. They're going to pay me, and 30 days from now, you're going to call me and say, hey, where's my money?
And I'm gonna be out of
gonna
business.
dodge it, or I'm going to say, hey, I didn't receive your invoice. Send it. Oh, yeah, we received it. Now it's going to be another 30 days, and now it's 60, 90 down the line.
Yeah.
It adds up.
Yeah. So yeah, they did. There are tools. That's the That's another importance of relationships. Once you find a good one, you try to keep them happy. But yeah, I mean, there's many things that
That
go
side of
into
the
it.
business is dirty,
Slimy,
ugly. Yeah.
slimy,
It is. It's
bloodsuckers.
you don't know who you're dealing with, especially at the start.
You don't. And okay, now all of a sudden on a project, you have 5 or 6 trucks delivering to the same place, and this broker's got 6 loads coming back to here. You could be into them for 20 or 30 grand like that, and you may never see that money.
That's crazy.
I'm not on the load boards much anymore, but the guys in the office said that there's a lot of them don't even have phone numbers anymore. You just
it's
email. It could be AI. Who knows? C.H.
I'm
Robinson's
sure-
going to AI.
Yeah. There's like M1, like virtual assistant or something like that. I just saw an ad on. You don't even have to answer your phone anymore. And you just record a message saying, hey, sorry, I missed your call or whatever. It's your voice. And whatever questions that person asks in the voicemail or details, hey, I'm looking to schedule an appointment. It'll pop up on your phone. You can just, add to calendar or nope, decline. It's pretty nuts.
Our vet has sounded the same thing. As they're talking, this thing listens, and then it's automatically like lining up all of like the solutions, like so they cut out all that time of having to figure it out.
Yeah.
It's figured out by the time they get done talking because it's computing all
Which
of it.
is nice.
It's very nice.
There's a
Yeah.
place for that.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. Right?
No,
I just want
I'm
to talk
with-
to somebody.
I'm
Right.
with you.
It's so much easier. And I think in this industry, if you don't go off your gut at times, like if you have a bad feeling about something, it's probably
Probably right.
right. You can get that a lot easier on the phone.
100%.
It's important. Call, those kind of things. And then things aren't misinterpreted either, right? So
Yep.
Oh.
Emails can be vague.
do we have to shout anyone out, Taylor, for this week?
Probably Pete.
We did last week. I know.
We're gonna give him one every week.
No.
He comments.
No.
He loves
We'll
it. I
Cribs.
mean, like you said earlier, it's nice when like John and Ken leave
Yep.
nice comments and responses to the episodes and their topics and give their thoughts. Just adds to
Yeah.
the conversation. So thanks, guys, for doing that. That gets the ball rolling and encourages other people to do the same.
You know, one guy we haven't talked about in a while. He moved away.
Yeah, I know exactly who he is.
too.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Did he move to Tennessee?
He did.
Damn
Does he
right
talk
did.
like this now? Yes, he does.
Lives in the mountains.
Yeah, but they just had cold and snow.
Yeah, he's probably used to it.
He
Get
wa-
in,
he
boys.
was.
We're going to work.
Yeah, yeah. Right. So shout out to Mahoney.
Yeah.
Mahoney. He shared the episode last week.
Did he?
Yeah.
He always does.
One of the first people to like it every week. Mahoney, when are you coming back? Stop in. Yeah.
Careful what you ask for.
Yeah. Yeah, don't stop it.
We'll take you catfishing or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you do down there, Tennessee.
All right. Well, is that a wrap?
All right. So like and share, right? Leave any comments below.
Yeah. Are you just doing?
Word of the day is Draggin Wagon. So
Yep.
tell your kids next time you're driving by a tow truck. And your trivia was
What state has the most amount of weigh stations in the United States? Obviously. Well, there's states in other countries, I think, isn't there?
States?
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
are countries that are like considered states.
Yeah.
on that note.
Yeah. Well, did we?
We'll fact check that.
That wasn't just a recap.
No, well, yeah.
Okay.
But your state comment was fantastic.
Yep. Good way to end it.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye, guys.